Hey everyone, so today we're taking a look at this thing. What is this thing? Let's take a close look. Yes, so this thing here, the Roidmi A100, is this thing. It is a hairdryer. Now, it's not a traditional hairdryer, at least not in its shape and its form. It's really compact. It looks more like a microphone, really. And its kind of closest competitor might actually be the Dyson hairdryer. And this is, in fact, smaller and lighter than the Dyson equivalent. Now, let's dive into the specs a little bit to see why this thing is a little bit special. So besides its slim form factor, it's also super light. It is 330 grams. What does that mean? It's about half the weight of any other traditional hairdryer, and it's lighter than the Dyson one as well. It has a 104,000 RPM motor. I mean, nobody looks at the specs on the hairdryer, so what does that mean? Well, it is almost as fast as the Dyson one, but the motor speed doesn't really tell us anything. This actually can push air 64 meters per second. Again, these numbers make no sense because nobody looks at the specs on a hairdryer. But if you compare it to a traditional one like this, the speed setting, the lowest speed setting on this hairdryer is equivalent to the highest speed setting on this traditional hairdryer here. So that gives you, I guess, a sense of how much air that this thing can push. So speaking of speed, like most hairdryers, there are speed settings on this thing. 0 here, or O, means it's off. 1 is like the lowest speed setting, and then 2 is at its maximum speed setting. At the top here, this button is a toggle for the temperature. When the LED is blue, that means it's blowing cold air. Then there's an orange setting when you press it once, and it will blow warm air. And then finally, if you press it a third time, it will go into its red setting, or the highest temperature that it has. It will actually remember which temperature you previously had it at, so the next time you turn it on, it goes back to that previous heat setting for you. So for those not familiar with Roidmi, you may be familiar with Xiaomi. Xiaomi makes smartphones. They're both owned by the Mi branding. Roidmi makes sleek looking home appliances like this hairdryer. This is probably the sleekest one I've ever seen. The handle is made of aluminium. You have machined holes down here to let the air into the fan. The top of the hairdryer is this head here, and it's actually made of plastic at the moment, but it's still a very nice looking glossy plastic at the top here. Speaking of the head, it's actually got different attachments that magnetically attach to the head of the hairdryer to give you different effects. So you could use the hairdryer just kind of bare like this, and it will just still push air, and it pushes quite a lot of air. Or you can attach this quick dry one, which makes the air slightly more turbulent. Now, to my hand, I couldn't really feel a difference, but the idea behind this is it should make the air a bit more turbulent and then help dry your hair a little bit quicker. Apart from this quick dry attachment, there's also a styling attachment. So if you need a more streamlined or a more direct airflow, you can attach this, and then you could use this to style your hair. So if you needed to push it, make it a wavy thing, or even use it for straightening, that's something that you would use here. One of the key features of the Roidmi A100 is that it has negative ions. What does that mean? It means when it blows air out, it should be negatively charged air. So how does that help, with your hair drying experience? Well, if you've ever had frizzy hair or statically charged hair, this hairdryer is supposed to help you neutralize that and make sure your hair is flat and not frizzy once you're done styling it. So finally, let's talk about pricing. This thing is priced at $199 USD. So that's about half the price of like the closest competitor for the Dyson, for example. It's half the weight, it's super slim, it's slimmer than Dyson. But ultimately, this is kind of like a statement piece, or more like a decorative piece, in my opinion. A regular hairdryer will do the job fine. But if you want something that looks sleek in your bathroom, for example, if your guests come over, they can see how cool your hairdryer is, then yeah, definitely give this a go, give this a look. And I think that's about it. I hope this was useful, and thanks for watching.